is the Last Time We Spoke podcast. I'm Steph.
Joe, representing that Fifth Ward, Texas, baby.
Young Dula, representing Naptown, West Side of.
And you motherfuckers don't need to know what the fuck I'm representing. Fuck you and
Since you did that, I got to say it. When I said that shit, I did the Dula show. I was doing it.
I find myself randomly hitting that shit in another spot.
I know. I'll be talking to Crystal in the kitchen and shit. I'm all, what?
Yep.
Breaking her ass off.
Hit that motherfucking leg up, too. I grocery store.
Let me get this shit out, man. Let me get this shit out. Oh, I was going to try to hold it in, man.
Well, the intro's done, goddammit.
Yeah, I know, but you said something. I was like, I got to let him know.
Oh,
shit.
Some of that box wine stuff.
No, I mean, box wine and fish sandwiches. That shit sounds like that number one at Marty Mall.
You know how they bring you a pitcher of water and shit? Like, leave a whole box out here.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Let me get that big economy box. Copy one, no.
Shit, you bullshit. That's an idea for your ass.
For real. Copy one. My man Richard Overton. I'll let one of you guys expand on why he's in Portland right now.
Okay, so somewhere around 4th of July, somewhere around late June, like early July, it came out that Richard Overton, who was the oldest living veteran and the oldest living man in this country, who also happens to be a black man, who lives close to where I live here in Austin, Texas, was the victim of identity theft. So they cleaned him out. I'm going to give a little blurb from the Dallas Morning News. It says, someone is impersonating the oldest man in America. Family members of Richard Overton, the 112-year-old World War II veteran who lives in Austin, learned that his someone set up a bogus account, got a social security number, and accessed his personal checking account. Said Volma Overton was Overton's third cousin. And according to her, whoever accessed the money used it to buy savings bonds with the Treasury Direct and has been doing so for a few months. And she basically saying it's going to be a setback because there was a lot of money, this man's savings. And obviously he's going to be on a fixed income. He's not able to work. But thankfully, the bank account was not connected to his GoFundMe page, which finances his 24/7 in-home care. And of course, this thing does restarted on me. Anyway, it finances in-home care. Since its inception in December 2016, the page has raised more than $320,000, though a large portion of the money has already been spent. Once it's gone and the caregivers go, Roman fears Overton will too. And so basically, it kind of ends it on a lightish note as far as him. He's still doing the things he loves and recently celebrated his 112th birthday on May 11th. That's somebody's birthday that I know. He's the oldest man in America, and he still, you know what I'm saying, sits on his front porch when he can. So, a lot of y'all might know him from being the guy who, despite his age, he still smokes like 12 cigars a day, sometimes has a whiskey and coke, and that's what he's doing, you know what I'm saying, enjoying his life. It's a damn shame when somebody who's like served their country since like a lot of the Caucasian people, that's one of the things cries, somebody who's done a service to their country and is no longer able to provide for themselves, like this man has been wiped out. I don't know what's happened since then. Like, it's good to hear that he'd already had a GoFundMe account or whatever. But, like, shit, y'all get behind some of the stupidest bullshit. Like, this man shouldn't have to, if he lives one more day, he shouldn't have to live that day worrying about, what money, where he's going to get money. Like, whoever did that, straight up and down, you're a piece of shit. That's all I got to say about the shit. And I wish him the best. I wish Brother Overton the best.
I think Dula has an interesting tidbit about Brother Richard. Go ahead, Dula.
Oh, yeah. So, what most people don't know, this is a drunk fact, right? Mr. Richard Overton is the original member, one of the original members of the Max 7 crew. Max 7 crew consists of myself, Brother Steph, Brother Joe, and some other brothers who's not part of this podcast, but, who are our brothers nonetheless. So anyway, it was Brother Richard Overton, and then it was Red, he's from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and Fruity.
Oh, you ain't hold it, bro. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Oh shit! Wait a minute. Like he reeling that shit off so smooth too. But go ahead, bro.
Straight up. And we carry on tradition, man. And if we can live to 112 years old, that's a blessing. They say black don't crack, so we'll see. But just like Brother Overton, we drink that motherfucking whiskey. You know what I'm saying? We smoke them cigars, and then occasionally, as Brother Steph say, we do the drugs. Only the drugs that are natural from the earth. None of that white shit. When I say white, I mean
just
color white. No pills, no cocaine, no nothing like that. No,
ain't nobody riding no horse. None of that bullshit.
None of that bullshit. But
none of that.
Anybody else got anything to add before we move on to topic 2? Before we go into that.
No, man.
Let me reiterate this.
Yeah.
He's the original player, man. Now, they always say, you can't fuck up.
I just want to say, whoever did what they did to Brother Richard, OG Kenobi, I hope you get some real dirty, as my grandfather would say, some real dirty shit happen to you. Mm-hmm. And I don't wish nothing bad upon nobody, but you a dirty motherfucker who did what you did.
Yeah.
If it's multiple, I hope it all happens to you and only fucking you.
Yeah. In the words of a much ballyhooed white actor, I hope you get raped by a pack of wild niggas.
Let me ask y'all a question.
And that's exactly what I was trying not to say.
Let me ask you a question, man, both of y'all. Now, being that we all in our 30s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you want...
Don't be telling people how... I'm trying to get these young girls. Go ahead.
Would you want to live to 112 years old? Just think about it. This man, he said he had how many sisters? 6 sisters or something? And 3 brothers or some crazy shit like that. Like, they're all dead. His wife died almost 30 years ago. Like, he's 112. You looking at these great grandkids, or now he never had kids, my bad. You looking at all these little young kids in your family. You're like, you don't even halfway know these motherfuckers. They can't understand your pain and your plight.
Yeah.
And it's like you're lonely. Your whole crew is gone. I mean, would you want to live to 112 years old? Would you?
Potentially, no. It all depends. Well, I can't ever say definitively no. It all depends on the quality of life.
You hit it right there.
If, I still have all my faculties and still can do all the normal daily activities that I need to do on my own, cool. I'm fine with that. But if I, have to be cared for 24/7, 365, nah, I'm cool on that. Let me go.
What about you, Joe?
Like, I said this ad nauseum. When I was younger, I used to be like, man, if I get to like in my 50s, you know what I'm saying, I'm good with that. And I think that's a reflection on me being a black male. Like, we told, shit, you might not make it to 18. You make it to 18, you might not, like, statistically, you might not make it to 25. And then you're like, damn, shit, everything after that is crazy. Well, that's a fucking shame, statistically true or not. Like, I shouldn't have to worry about not being able to live past a quarter of a century. You know what I'm saying? And the older I got, the older I got, fucking with that one. God damn. The older I got, I'm burping like a motherfucker. The older I got, the more inclined I got to, like, the more I warmed up to the idea of, like, shit. I said the same thing. As long as I can live and not complete the cycle, and by that I mean, you come into the world, you need people to take care of you, just like Steph said, like, obviously using diapers and shit like that. If I don't complete that cycle, like, I'm good, but if it just so happens that I do, then I do. I can't, like, I would not want that. Like, since you asked, the question was, like, would I want to? No, I wouldn't want to, because just like you preface this with, like, just having to deal with the knowing that most of the people you grew up with or you have some attachment to are gone. You can't relate to what's happening. Like, everybody sees you as somebody who needs help. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a part of respecting elders. That's what I love about, like, I think everybody should do it anyway, but I love about being black. Like, I love when I see people respecting older people, like, giving it up to the older generation. Like, I'm not saying everybody is entitled to that respect, but my default is, like, if you older, I'm going to throw you that respect. Like, I don't got to know you, I'm going to throw you that respect. But at the same time, like, I don't want to be like, man, like, my grandmother, since she's the only grandparent I have left, that's saying it right there. She's the only one that I have left. Like, for so long, when I was in high school, when I lived with them, almost every other weekend, they go into funerals. And it wasn't like a thing to where they sad because they go on a funeral. It's like, oh, you know, they both got Louisiana roots. It's just something that happens, you know what I'm saying? People die. But now, she's alone because my grandfather left this earth before her. And it is to the point where, like, shit, I come from a matriarchal family. Like, my grandfather worked until he retired, and there was, you know, he paid, like, they both had jobs, but it was, we going to grandmother's house. It wasn't we going over here to their house. It's grandmother's house. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think somebody posted a meme, like, on iFunny or something, like, you work all this time, like, bringing home these paychecks, and you doing all this, you breadwinner, just for somebody to say, we're going to grandma's house. Now, that's what the case was for us. So I don't want to be the last motherfucker left. But at the same time, even though I'm talking to y'all drunk, I'm going to put something in a bank, like, physically, mentally, financially, that I'm going to live a lifestyle that if I do get up there in age, I'm going to try my damnedest to prevent me from being dependent on somebody.
Mm-hmm. And I think, before you chime in, like, if that was the cards I was dealt, I think the main thing would be, for me, I would have to, like, where I would like to keep all my family so I can pass down, you know, that oral history. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Of just who I am and, you know what I'm saying, where I came from and so on and so forth. So that, you know what I'm saying, because we as people don't have that. So, or I can't necessarily say don't have it, but it's
we lost
declining.
Yeah.
It's rapidly declining. Like, because just being the fact that my parents both are deceased now, and it's like a lot of shit that I didn't know still though. You know what I'm saying? And having those questions, and it's like, oh shit, ain't nobody around, so you know what I'm saying? So I should raise fucking ass. So
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That type of shit. But
like you. Before you get to it, like you hit on it, like that is a part of the black experience is oral tradition, like oral tradition, oral history, like from even when we, like, if you were allowed to read, if you were in Africa, that's still a big part of who we were. But obviously, shit, after the Middle Passage, you weren't allowed to read, so that was what we had to do. But yeah, Brother Dooley, you got it.
No, I was saying, as the only member of this crew on this podcast, it is, but kids, I would say, one thing I don't want to do is outlive my children. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's it. Like, and to piggyback off of Joe, when I was young, I didn't know. I mean, I didn't think about 50 would be a good age. I was like, I hope I make it past 21, because so many people I knew in my neighborhood and knew personally in my city died young. You know what I'm saying? So I remember on my 21st birthday, I just remember feeling like I made it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not that I was suicidal and saying you can take me now. I was saying like, okay, I made it. That was like a check mark. You know what I'm saying? Like, I made it to 21, and I was happy not because I can go clubbing and all that shit, because I didn't even dive into all that yet. It's just that, okay, I made it to 21. I know a lot of people died in high school and, you know, die young, maybe in their 20s, but I feel accomplished. So I would just say I don't want to outlive my children. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Two. What was it? Random white folks calling the council old black folks for silly shit. I don't have no other way of
for existing.
Yeah, pretty much. Just for breathing the same air as these privileged white people. Somebody want to further dive into the explanation?
Go ahead, Joe.
Well, I know the before the thing Brother Dooley shared with us earlier, the last thing I knew about was the lady having the police called on her and either Raleigh or Winston-Salem, North Carolina, for her neighborhood pool. Like, I had the same type of setup. Like, in my neighborhood, there's a community pool, and it's deed restricted though. Like that, at least that it says that on our shit. But I don't fuck around there because, like, that's one of my rational things. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh shit, I'm black. They see me there regardless of what is mine and ain't mine. Like, I don't want to have to deal with no fucking police because I'm sensitive ass white people. And it shouldn't be like that, but that's the way my mind processes shit. And like I said, in my rational ass mind, it got all justification it needed when this happened. So this lady was there with her kid. She had the police called on her. She recorded it. And the man was basically, you know, trying to get her kicked out because she didn't want to produce her ID to him. Like, from what I understand, he asked her, like, where she lived, and she told him the address, or she told somebody the address, and then he's like, oh, that didn't check out, or it sounds funny. May I see your ID? It's like, no, I ain't got to show you my ID. You know, like, I told you my address. Police get called, and this is from when she is recording it. Like, the dialogue, well, it's not a dialogue, because it's more than the two people, but the conversation that's happening is indicating the same thing I said, plus he was like, he wanted to see the ID, and the police stepped in, and they're like, well, the guy was like, one of the police officers was basically like, I do the same thing, like, I'm, like, on my committee or whatever, and all we have to have is, like, you know, if it's on the rules, like, it's posted on the rules, then it is. And somebody in the background was like, I believe this lady was supporting the black lady. But she was like, there's normally a sign-in sheet, but it wasn't there. She's like, I didn't sign in. Like, and the black lady was like, yeah, I'm the only black person here, me and my kid. And the lady was like, yeah, my kid is black. But still, and it's like the resolution they came to was like, well, don't y'all normally have like keys to access cars to access it? He's like, yeah. Like, well, if she has the key and it works, then that should be like the issue, the end of the issue. Like, since you don't have any rules posted saying you have to show ID and you didn't have a sign-in sheet, like, if this is what happens, then it's good enough. And like, he seemed to be implying that he agreed with it. The shit turned green, and then he changed it. He moved the goalpost to start saying, well, people just pass these things around. Like, she could have got it from anywhere. And the lady was like, well, are you going to apologize to me? Like, you know what I'm saying, for like causing all this? Are you going to apologize? And he refused to apologize. And he actually doubled down. He stuck to his gun. He's like, well, next time, just show me an ID. Just show, like, he didn't back off. Just show me an ID. And he ended up getting fired, like this, the way that shit normally happens. He got fired. Fucking, then he's sorry. Like, he had a chance to apologize, so right there in her face. Then he's sorry after he got fired. Oh, that wasn't my, whatever the fuck he said. But that's the one I was aware of. I'll let y'all talk about the other shit that happened.
Well, the one that I'm more familiar with is pretty much the same. It's similar deal with a pool on an apartment complex, but this one was in Memphis. Something about socks. It was something so fucking trivial. And the craziest part, it kind of reminds me of a neighbor I had growing up in one of my in the neighborhood I grew up in early on when I came back to Michigan. And every summer, my family would get into it with this fucking basehead. Lived right across the street from us. Every fucking summer, she would usually start it, and she would be the one to call the cops. And instead of talking to her and trying to calm her down, first thing that they would always do was come to my house, talk to my parents or, you know, me or one of my siblings. And I always found that interesting simply because it's like, okay, you didn't even grasp the whole cusp of what was going on, but yet we are the ones that you just ultimately assume that are the unruly ones. The ones that started everything, that's, you know, putting everything, like, everything is boiling over because of us, where, like, and mind you, I was in my early teens when this shit was going on, like, maybe, I want to say, like, maybe 11, 12, 13, somewhere up in there, so, like, playing basketball, like, in my driveway at one of my partner's houses across the street where I live. And it's like we walking, you know, probably this definitely gonna date myself because I don't even know if the shit really exists anymore. If we're going to the Candy Lady house or go get a freeze cup or some shit, and she outside drinking, hiding the motherfucker, and just start talking random like crazy shit. And I mean, I'm not gonna incriminate myself nor my family members, but you know. You say certain shit 9 times out of 10 is going to be met with a certain response. And I just leave it there. But,
the statute of limitations on shit talking is passed. Ain't nobody going to jail.
But yeah, and I, like, when I read these stories or hear about them or see them, I guess which is I heard someone say it's like you should never become numb to it. But when you got situations like these where, like you said, Joe, you getting the cops called on you for just existing, and that just with the whole police brutality deal and all of this, it's a bigger dynamic on how things are viewed upon as far as with us. It just shows you, like, and again, I'm going to quote Douglas' favorite rapper, Kanye.
We can't make it through one show without that statement.
Nope. Again, Douglas' favorite rapper from his favorite city, Kanye West, hails from Chicago.
These are verifiable facts.
Yes, they are. Racism's still alive. They just be concealing it. It's not even a concealment.
I was about to say, bro. Yeah, that's blatant.
It's not, and for anybody who wants to argue the fact, I mean, I'm not gonna argue with you. All I'm gonna tell you is pull up any news article just randomly, just pick one. The not OKC, but the man being shot in Oklahoma by a cop. Just on and on and on. And
Stephen Clark in Sacramento.
Yeah, just on and on. So,
in his own yard. Shit.
So you would never be able to tell me, and just by where I work, and just hearing certain conversations, and just by where people would prefer to live, is not even eye opening. It's just like it's not going nowhere anytime soon. I'm a firm believer that racism will never be completely eradicated because it is taught, it is passed on, just like what we was talking about earlier in topic 1 about oral history and so on and so forth. So it's just this silly shit is a bigger dynamic is a bigger reflection, I should say, a bigger reflection on society. And again, to quote another thing that I usually only hear quoting, Charles S. Dutton, Minister of Society, the hunt is on and you're the prey. Drops mic.
Hey man, this shit goes on all the time. The only difference is motherfuckers are actually recording the shit now and putting that shit on social media. You know what I'm saying? First, the shit happened. We told them this shit was happening. We told them we was being discriminated against. We told them police was whooping our ass. We told them, all this shit was going on. They didn't believe it. Then we recorded the shit, and they said, well, we must have did something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Right.
They can blame it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we record the shit in real time, put this shit on live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, or put it on YouTube, put it on social media, put it out there, and low key, they still don't believe it. They still think we did something wrong to bring this about. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of cases. I don't know. But just here in Indianapolis, the same shit happened at remember when you came here, Steph, you and the old lady? Yeah. Up north where y'all stayed at, that area? Yeah, it's an apartment up there. There's a black dude who was at the pool. Same shit. Manager came out, you know what I'm saying he needed to show his ID and where he lives at, and they asked him to leave for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? He's suing the lady right now. She's on administrative leave. I don't want to go into every detail. I don't know every detail, but I know that he was asked to leave, even though he was a attendant. You know what I'm saying? He lives in those apartments, so he can go to the pool. But the lady still asked him to leave for whatever reason. You know what I mean? So, this shit happens all the time, man. It's almost like being a dead horse, but I don't know. They ain't gonna believe it.
That's the thing. That's the sad part about it. Yeah, that's the sad part. It's being a dead horse for us, but it's eye-opening to them. The people to the people who do believe it, who are now believing it. It goes back to the Chappelle thing. Oh my God, honey! Apparently, the police are dropping niggas like hotcakes. It's a new thing to them. Like, oh, and to your other point, the victim blaming. Why would the police have a reason to do this? Why would that would never happen? Police are good people. They wouldn't just do this for no reason.
Man,
like one of my go ahead.
I'm saying they done did me that. They pulled me over. I'm going to my father's crib. It's like 3 a.m, but I'm walking to my father's crib. You know what I'm saying? I'm a grown ass man, dog. You know what I'm saying? And these motherfuckers pull up on me. You know what I'm saying? Trying to throw cuffs on me. Like, what you doing? Following this lady? Harassing this lady? I'm like,
nothing.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. What you talking about? But they was talking so reckless. They was talking like they was about to whoop my ass. It wasn't like, what's your name? Let's get to the bottom of it.
Oh, no,
it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
been there.
Who the fuck you think you are? What the hell are you doing? Like, man, I had no idea what the fuck they were talking about. Hollister, you know what I'm saying? And then I look over to my right. It's like 10 minutes in the conversation. They about to try to take me to prison, take me to jail. And I look across the street. It's an old white lady, older white lady. She ain't old, but I think she was in her 40s or 50s. I'm young. And she's shaking her head no, like basically telling me this ain't him. That wasn't him. And they still holding on to it. And I say, you can just let this feet out that it's not me, right? But y'all still want y'all want it to be me, right? And when I was young, you know what I'm saying, I was reckless. I was talking a lot of shit. That's why they whooped my ass before, you know what I'm saying? Police beat the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm just saying, shit like that happens all the time. So when somebody tells me a story like this, I'm like, oh, that's just Monday. You know what I'm saying? This shit happens all the time. For white folks not to believe it, I mean, that says more about them and the way they was coddled and the way they was brought up and what they think of this country, how they think everything is so great and everything is fair. Yeah, they got to where they got to.
This world. Yeah,
this world.
Yeah.
No, motherfucker.
Like my whole thing is like, because being the fact that you brought up your story, that relived mine for a few seconds. I was on my way, I think it was the last few months I had in the service. And I was on my way to work. Excuse me. And I got pulled down. And I'm in full fucking uniform. Anybody who knows anything about the military, when you have on your uniform, your name, your last name, is right on your fucking uniform. I had Michigan tags and everything, and I was told to get out the car and all of this shit because I fit the description of a person who just robbed a store, a liquor store, where we all were stationed at. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, so somebody would run up in the store in full uniform with their tape on and rob the store. Okay. And the craziest part about it is, told my command, it was like the first question I was asked, well, what did you do? Nothing. DWB, driving while black. You know what I'm saying? And it's like when people hear these particular stories, it's like, oh, you had to have done something, like, well, people that's outside of our ethnicity. Shit, even some people that's within it because they never had to deal with it. But when you encounter certain situations like that and you decide to, you know what I'm saying, speak on it with people that are not aware and unfamiliar, they have a tendency of, well, what did you do to make them stop you? Did you have a headlight out? No. As Jay said, all my papers legit. Like, I'm cool. Like, there was no probable cause other than assuming. And like I said, told my command, nothing happened. Nothing took place afterwards. And the craziest part about it is the fact that I think about it sometimes. It's like I'm happy I escaped with my life.
No, yeah.
And people don't realize, people outside of the culture or you know what I'm saying, ethnicity don't realize, like, okay, he got his little shit off, whatever, but I still got in my car and drove my happy ass to work. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's so small. It's like nobody, a white person, I've never heard of this shit happening, like, in abundance, like it is with us. Like, even where I live now, there was a particular time period where it was a cop right across the street. Both of y'all seen where I stayed, suburbia, pretty much. And it was a cop that was always posted right across the street. And I would get in my lady's car, go to the nearest corner store, get me a beer or some shit like that, or some blacks or something. And sure as shit, pull me down. Oh, I'm looking for somebody with this same particular car and so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the first time, all right. second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh time, because this shit went on for a minute now. And to the point where it's like, when I pull out my driveway, I see him. I already got my license out. I already, you know what I'm saying, got the registration, everything. So it's like, he ain't got nothing to talk about. Now, going further on into the time frame, it got to a point where he would run up behind me, see it's me, and keep on going. I was like, okay, like we done did this little 1-2, I don't know how many times, but yet you still want to pull me down, and then pull me down again in my car, and pretty much was questioning me about my sticker on my plate. Oh, I didn't see this color yet. So on and so forth, as far as registration and shit. I don't know if y'all do that in Texas. I'm pretty sure y'all do that in Indiana, right? What's that?
We did it in California.
Yeah, with the registration and shit every year on your birthday. Yeah. You got to re-register your car, get another sticker, pretty much. Bullshit way.
Not on the birthday, but yeah, whenever your registration expires. But I get what you're saying, though. Yeah, it was a color perk for whatever year.
Right.
Which is asinine that your job is to, you know, patrol and to make sure people are complying with these laws, and you don't even know what the law is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not the law in this case, the color is. That's saying something about you and your ability to do your job.
Right.
But hey.
He's
saying to stop, brother. Yeah.
And all of these instances, and well, before I say that, the craziest part, I ran into that same cop, and this was all happening like last summer, I believe. And I ran into that cop on my job, and he like, oh, I didn't know you did this. Oh, shit, I wouldn't be bothering you. Oh, so because of a particular, I bullshit you not. I was like, because of a particular job I have, knowing that I live in a quiet neighborhood, ain't too many blacks in the neighborhood I reside in. And I'm going to throw this in there. I don't even know if it needs to be, but they're majority Trump supporters. Do with that what you will. But live in this predominantly white area, quiet, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers walk around and jog and do all that shit or whatever. But because of a particular job I have, if you would have known that, you wouldn't have pulled me down repeatedly and ran all my shit repeatedly because of, and mind you, it's some motherfuckers that you wouldn't think live in this area, like white trash, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
No problems whatsoever. But the random black man, and the random black man that has a fro, has braids from time to time, you know what I'm saying, dressed the way I dress, you know what I'm saying, especially on a lounge day, t-shirt, basketball shorts, whatever. And it's like, but yet you couldn't fathom of me having a degree. You couldn't fathom me being able to communicate with you outside of what you assumed I was. So, again, it's nothing more than a reflection of society. So whenever I hear somebody have that race talk and, oh, you had to do something, mind you, I have these bouts on a regular basis at work. And it's like, when you say things like that, racism doesn't exist or you can't fathom this, that, and the third, I have a tendency of looking at you as, okay, you're in a bubble, you're in a cocoon, you are naive to the realities of the world. The world is not peaches and cream. It's full of horrors as well as some bright spots. So do with that what you will.
Don't know, don't show, don't care. Shit. If I were to just talk about police interaction, shit, that'll be a long story within itself.
Yeah, I think that shit would be with all of us.
Yeah, but my fucking, and it shit started young, just like Dula was saying. Like, they pulled up on us one time. I'm gonna just keep this one brief. They pulled up on us one time, motherfuckers start putting on gloves, not like fucking latex gloves. Motherfuckers start putting on like fucking baseball. I was like, these motherfuckers about to beat our asses. I was like, damn. Oh well. Like this ain't something I don't have to deal with.
As a man who got his ass whooped by the police before, let me tell you this real quick. Ain't nothing worse than getting your ass beat by somebody when you know you can beat the fuck out of them. But you can't do that because it's going to be so bad for they're going to throw you under the jail or they're going to kill you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you can't do nothing. But you know these motherfuckers can't really fuck with you on that level. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. No, that needs to be said though. And so, like, motherfuckers had us on man. Like, by the time that fucking, this is gonna sound random, but by the time fucking Baller Blocking came out, the movie, the hood movie, presented by Cash Money Records, he's like, yeah, y'all some hot boys, put your ass on this hot car. That shit resonated with me. So I'll never forget that shit. They put us on, like, had us spread, you know what I'm saying, put your hand on the car. Motherfuckers hot as fuck. Like, just taking their time and shit. Motherfuckers search, like, without probable cause, really. Motherfuckers search, like, checking motherfuckers' underwear and shit. And the only thing that saved me was my aunt passed by. And she's like, yeah, I know him and blah, blah, blah. And then it started to get a little bit more professional. And they came up with the story to why they were doing what they were doing. And now, of course, they ain't gonna be like, yeah, we did all this other shit, but like, why they stopped us and blah, blah, blah. And we were just coming from hooping, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, like, my favorite thing that happened, it ain't got to do with police. It's when we were in the Navy. And we went to that motherfucking Jerry's. And fucking, we were treated in a certain way. And it's just back to the whole, like, white society not believing deal. So it was back to, just like y'all said, what happened? What reason did they have that, like, to do that? If they even believed us. And they separated everybody to make sure the stories was driving. And I was like, why? I remember getting frustrated when I was in there. I was like, why would I lie about this? Like, what the fuck? This is embarrassing. Why would I lie about this? And fucking, no, we're just trying to see, because we never heard, they had the bass CMC in this motherfucker. I don't know if y'all remember that shit. They had the bass CMC and all this other shit. We're just trying to see, because we never heard it. I was like, and I called him out on this shit. Like, hell no. Like, when I came here in 2007, people were calling that motherfucker Jerry's White Power and Waffles. So don't act like this something that just started happening since we came here and this happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know what the deal is with this. Like, they might not say that exact phrase around y'all, but y'all know this town has some history with some shit like that, because my first experience, one of my first experiences was being with Dula and that motherfucker Diaz, going to this little rinky-dink ass diner. What do you boys want? I was like, what the fuck? All right, it's time to leave. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He was like, no, let's just eat here. I was like, well, okay. I was like, I don't trust this shit, but all right, we'll eat here. Like, the lady, shit. She's like, what do you boys want? I was like, all right. I guess we eating here. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, like, and that's what, like, fucked me up. I'm like, man, fuck y'all, fuck this command. Like, y'all treating us like we fucking, I get covering your bases, covering your ass and shit, but you sure are asking us a lot of questions. Like, we got a reason to make this shit up and shit. And, like, I didn't feel like, yeah, exactly. I didn't feel like fucking that y'all were being receptive. Like, and if you want to take it, you really want to take it there, it ain't like we was like fucking professionally, like some shit back and shit. We was winning awards and doing all this other stupid ass shit that they wanted us to do. So it ain't like, you know what I'm saying, the Dula went out here winning fucking medals and shit for this motherfucker. Y'all want to put them on fucking newspaper covers and shit. It ain't like they didn't have motherfuckers running ships by themselves and shit, like, with positional authority. So how did that factor into all this shit? It doesn't when you black. Like, this ain't no shit we making up.
Their word is worth more than they know us, not them, but they're white. So that word is worth more. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's fucked up. But, shit, up to the point now,
I always look at it as especially what Joe just said. But I think, Dooley, you just said it. They know us. Always look at it. It's really not funny, but I always look at it as like some old National Geographic shit, man. Like, watch as the black Negro does X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? But yet, when, you know what I'm saying, motherfuckers can articulate themselves.
And that's it. They knew who they had on it. That was the funny part about it to me. It's like, okay, now if you had some straight up the National Geographic niggas that they wanted to see, I'm not saying I can understand that shit, but I'm like, yo, no, I ain't gonna let you sit here and talk to me like that. And it was like, oh no, like that's when they started backtracking. No, we just try to cover all the bases and make sure, like, 'cause we never heard this before. I'm like, come on, man. Like I straight up looked these motherfuckers in their face and called them out. Like, you're not about to sit here and lie to me, man. This place has a reputation. Like, this place, like, before I knew about, like, they started talking about, oh, y'all going on a death of Fallon. Fucking whole orgy shopping in the motherfucker. Woo, Jerry's white power and waffles. Woo. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't play with me, bro. And
let them know where that place is at. So they know not
Fallon,
to go
Nevada. Yeah, Fallon, Nevada.
What's the name of the real?
If that motherfucker, Jerry's, if that motherfucker still exists. If it still exists. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm sure it does. I'm sure they're getting plenty of business. Because here comes another point. Like, if it was in jest, it was tongue-in-cheek, and I do get tongue-in-cheek humor, I do get facetious humor, but motherfuckers was like, thanks, guys, thanks, Gun Gordon. Now I can't go enjoy my waffles at Jerry's. You know, shit like that, people. Like, 'cause that shit spread like wildfire. Like, oh, yeah, these are the motherfuckers who did this, and this, you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. It wasn't nobody from our, like, what they used to call that shit, lower enlisted, junior enlisted people. It wasn't like, oh, shit, we don't believe y'all. They knew what the fuck was up. But these motherfuckers, I guess once you put on a certain rank and it shit start to get official, like, oh, and this was in the fucking late 2000s, late aughts. So that shit, it had to have been worse in the past. So don't sit here and act like y'all don't know what's going on, bro. Like, you can be oblivious to it, no doubt, but we weren't the first black people that you served with. And I'm sure this ain't the first time you heard that shit.
Again, racism is still alive. That is a true instance of trying to conceal it. So,
these guys they're thugs. These guys are thugs. That shit can't be true. We can talk about this shit all night.
Gangbangers.
Yeah. Gangbangers? Who are you calling gangbangers?
I can't talk about that. Hey, what's the next topic, Steph?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That we can talk about that shit all night.
Kevin Hart and Mike Epps are back at it again. It was a picture on IG, I believe. Instagram, for those that are not with the slang and the terminology, air quotes. He posted, it was a picture with him and Eddie Murphy, and some random person pretty much said, funnier than Kevin Hart, and Mike Epps responds and says everybody's funnier than Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart responds with a long dissertation, pretty much about him wishing him well and him being a hater of some sort. And Mike Epps responds to saying, you're playing the victim as you always do. I've been doing this for X amount of years, and maybe I'm funnier than you, pretty much. So, thoughts? I pretty much gave the short-wind version of it all. But any thoughts?
So, my favorite beefs are comedian beefs. it just, because they are, I don't get the term observational humor, because humor, as far as stand-up especially, is about observations. You can't relate to anybody if it ain't something that's valid. Like, you can sit up here and make somebody laugh off of just some gags and shit, but if I can't be like, damn, I've seen something like that, or damn, that's true, I'm laughing because that's true, then you ain't doing an effective job. Now, that being said, there is, just like they're human beings, there is a level of jealousy that's bred when success is attained by a member of your fraternity. Like, when I was on them Twitters, I used to follow Mike Epps. I used to be in the camp. I'm not saying I'm in a camp. I'm just giving perspective to what's going on. I used to be in the camp. Wow, Kevin Hart. I hadn't seen any of his shit really. Like, he alright. And, you know what I'm saying? Epps, Epps got, just like Womack and 1135, Epps got a history. If there's a Mag 7 mural, that motherfucker's gonna be in there. You know what I'm saying? For real. If there was a mural, it would be some 1135 of that motherfucker. It would be me leaving my card at the club and shit. It'd be goddamn, and it'd be goddamn underrated, never faded.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker. So, like, I fuck with that. Yeah. So I fuck with that. And you know what I'm saying? Like, as of right now, I don't have nothing against. I ain't playing no favorites, but I ain't got nothing against anybody. So anyway, I follow this dude on Twitter, whatever, and it would just be random things, and he'd say something about Kevin Hart, or he go on like a little rant, like he'd add him, try to get him like entangled in a little showdown or whatever. Like, let's have like shit that I used to think he was saying and just like, let's have a battle or some shit like that and see who's funny or whatever the fuck. But so this has been going on since at least 2011. You know what I'm saying? I might be subtracting or adding a couple years, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I know it's always shit that goes on behind the scenes because these people tour for most of their lives perfecting their craft, and they know each other better than we know them, than what they projecting than what they showing to the public. But I remember a couple years back, Epps was on a radio interview, and he just started, you know what I'm saying, subliminally referring to Kevin, like, oh, you know, there's people in movies or some shit. Like, if they ain't funny, like, they ain't gonna ask them to come back, like, to act in the movie again. But some people, they just keep putting them in movies, even though they ain't funny, and they parts of the movies ain't good, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, I wonder who he's talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I followed the dude on Twitter and shit, so by then I don't think I had Twitter, but I knew, like, their history and shit. Like, it seemed like anytime Mike Epps do get a chance, he gonna take a shot at Kevin Hart. Like, in this particular instance, yeah, somebody mentioned the man's name. Somebody brought Kevin Hart up, so he just responded. But he has just, like, unprovoked mentioned this man. like he ain't a type of motherfucker who's, I'm not saying this is the norm for him. I don't know their history. But he ain't the type of motherfucker who's like, oh, Kevin made it. That's good. He's like, man, I'm funnier than that motherfucker. Like, he ain't shit. Like, shit, there's enough bread out there for all y'all, man. That's the way I see this shit. Like,
well, let me ask you this then before Dula gives his thought on it. The African, well, quote unquote African.
No, that man's African. Yeah, he's Michael Blackson's African.
Yeah, there you go. Michael Black. Yeah, you edit that shit. But Michael Blackson, when he was going at it, do you feel like that was like some underlying hating or whatever?
I say yeah, because he admitted that. He said that in an interview. But they have a personal history. He's like, they have a personal history, and what was going on was, to add context to it, was some shit that happened out of, like, this man, Kevin Hart was going through some shit, and they like, you know, that whole setup was dirty. But, like, oh, you're supposed to be the dude, his man or whatever. He's like, man, shit, I talk about people all day, and he's a comedian. He talks about people all day, like, he should be able to take it. But he ended up, like, if he didn't outright admit to it, he's like, yeah, like, and I think he only did it after they called his ex-fiance or whatever. But I don't think it's, like, purely hate. I think it's, like I said, it's that, for sure. It's shit that we don't know about. You know what I'm saying? It's shit because they were close. Like, they came up in the same city. But Epps and Kevin Hart ain't got no ties like that to my knowledge. It's just, like, I don't like to see you shining, and I'm out here doing the same thing.
Well, they both said they go back 20 years. They both they didn't go back to 20 years. So.
Didn't know it.
Not
but
20 years.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
They've been in it for a while. But but the reason I said I like comedian beef is because of that. Like, you hear this a lot. When people do beef, it's like, man, you ain't been out here paying your dues enough. Like, that shit don't matter if people think the motherfucker funny. People think the motherfucker funny. I get what you're saying. Like, it sucks to have been out here honing your craft and on the chitlin circuit, basically. Like, getting shit, bro.
Mike is
speaking of, I was about to say,
the Kevin is humongous. You know what I'm saying?
No, exactly.
Kevin has the spot right now. He's the nigga that they chose right now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it.
He's the chosen one. It sounds like Mike wants to be chosen. Let me play devil's advocate. Before I play devil's advocate, let me say that I think there is some jealousy, or there in the past, maybe not with this incident, there has been some jealousy on behalf of Mike. You know what I mean? For those very reasons that you just named. But I also think there's a lot of insecurity on Kevin Hart's part. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Because there always seems
I'm arguing that, but I'm not arguing that.
Yeah. Like that, like this time in particular, like you said, going back to 2011, I got the quote right here. Mike was saying, Kevin Hart, let's get a friendly tweet battle going and go hard, Holmes. That's what he said. It's April 3rd, 2011. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so, and if you, like you said, if you follow Mike on Twitter or Instagram, he does everybody this way. All of his comedian friends, you know what I'm saying? I've never seen anybody take it personal except for Kevin Hart. And in the beginning, it doesn't seem like Kevin was taking it personal back then, you know what I'm saying? But as Kevin got bigger and he blew up, it seems like he wants to tell you how great he is. And I'm doing a remix, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that. But before, he would go back and forth with Mike, you know what I'm saying? And Michael Blackson still go back and forth with Mike. You know what I'm saying? D-Ray, they still go back and forth. All these dudes go back and forth. Kevin got so big, and he did in Hollywood, that it seems like this is beneath him now. And that's his right, you know what I'm saying? But it seems like Mike is just trying to pull him back home, like, nigga, don't forget who you are. That's what he was been saying. And he seemed like he is jealous that Kevin, out of all of us, is the one to blow like that. Because he ain't in my humble opinion, I know him from that, but I think Mike is funnier because his shit, I relate to his shit more, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. He a hood nigga and he don't got dumb shit down. But to me, before the world jumped on Kevin, you remember, Joe, I was telling you about this stand-up he had, and I said it's class. That, grown little man.
I ain't watched that shit. I didn't watch that shit until I left Lemoore.
They both got one classic under their belt, in my opinion. I think Mike is a better actor, and I think Kevin is a bigger star with the bigger movies, and he's just Hollywood. He's the bigger star. So it seems like a lot of shit is jealousy on Mike's behalf, but really a lot of shit is fucking Kevin's insecurity. Like Mike talk about everybody that way, and I just seen who's your boy from Chicago, comedian, a bigger dude. He got a podcast. Corey Holcomb. He touched on this because Kevin's his nigga, and Mike, he said like Mike is like that. Like he said, yeah, basically the same way that he a hood dude was just like shit. He got to it. Well, he didn't know. He got into it with Mike one time. Well, not really got into it, but had some words. He didn't know how Mike was gonna react, so he made sure he had them 7 Chicago niggas there with him, because he didn't know how Mike was gonna react. So that's how they look at Mike. Like, you know, he a hood dude. You know what I'm saying? And but he said Mike is like he's a star. When you turn them
I got something for that. That's what I was gonna get.
Fucking shook.
Yeah. No. I got something for that. I got something for that. Go ahead.
He agreed with you though, Joe. He's saying that it seemed like a little jealousy on his behalf, but he said Mike has to understand certain people you can't talk about like that. Like Kevin ain't gonna react that way anymore. You know what I'm saying? So he can't say shit like that. Like it's too big to talk about people and have them not react that way. Not, you know, Kevin should know what it is, really. But you know, it is what it is. Maybe it is a little jealousy, but I think it's a lot of insecurity on Kevin's behalf. And he has to always remind people how big he is. And he's doing stadiums and all that shit. But the shit is not funny, in my opinion. And Mike is speaking for the hood in a lot of cases. This shit Kevin Hart does is not funny, man. Like, the hood don't love Kevin Hart that way. The bitches do, though. Bitches do. The bitches love that shit. But because he's a little bitty motherfucker, like he's just not really that funny anymore, man. That grown little man was funny.
Every stand-up. Oh, go ahead.
That's it. That nigga not funny. So I agree with Mike.
You got his stuff. Then I'm gonna take it. You got his stuff.
Every stand-up I've seen from that one, because you told me about that shit too, and every stand-up that I've seen after that has been a decline further and further away from that than what, you know what I'm saying, I got from that grown little man shit. That shit definitely is classic. I fuck around and watch that shit, go to sleep tonight. Nah, I take that back. I'm probably gonna watch the Mike Epps shit, because, yeah, you're the fucking problem. That shit's classic. But
they both classic.
But my I guess my instance on that is I've heard radio interviews with Mike Epps, and it was like he was like taking his little jabs, but in the same sense, like cleaning it up, like, you know, he big, this, that, and the third, but looking at it more so as a competitive nature, if you will. Pretty much like a MC. Yeah, he's good. He's great, but he ain't better than me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I've always looked at it as like, well, to a certain extent, you're supposed to feel that way. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to feel that way. Especially like if y'all...
If he put his name beside his, you got to mention them both now.
Right. So, like, when he did what he did, like, I always looked at it, well, not always, but I just looked at it like, for what he said, he could have said a whole hell of a lot more. And for you to respond, like Dude said, in such a insecure type of manner, I'm doing this, dude, and I'm doing that, and it's like, okay. I mean, I guess I look at it from the way how I was raised and how I come up. It's better to have it said about you instead of you having to say it for yourself. So, but that's neither here nor there. That's to each his own. But I believe also it has some sentiments of insecurities on Kevin's behalf, especially with all the cheating and all of that shit. It's like, okay, I got to keep my image. I got to get my image, I should say, back to that pristine level where it was at in the public eye, and you know what I'm saying, instead of, you know, going joke for joke or just playing Dub and Jones on nigga, I'm gonna kill you with my accomplishments. I remember him saying something that's like, you're throwing rocks at the sun or some shit like that. And it's like, okay, we get it. You are technically the biggest comedian. But how many big comedians have there been where, as far as, well, I can't necessarily say black comedians, but how many comedians in general that were big and the hood didn't fuck with them? Even though, true indeed, I mean, it's more prevalent to black comedians. But, I mean, I get what both of y'all are saying, but I'm more so leaning towards the way of, you know what I'm saying, it just seems just mad sensitive. And we live in a very sensitive state right now where it's like you can't even express your opinion, I'm not going to bar like all the little pop shots that Joe said he took. But in the same sense, I always felt like, yeah, it's comedians, they joke around, like it ain't like a motherfucking MC get on the motherfucking mic and just say, you know, fuck this particular rapper. I give you a better, what I would deem a better comparison. When Kendrick got on that Control verse and everybody was, oh, he's doing this and he's saying this and the King of New York and blah, blah, blah. For Mike Epps to say, well, shit, everybody's funnier than him. For Mike Epps to be a fucking comedian, it could have went a whole different goddamn way. So, and then you get into this female-ish state where, like I said, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and you go get your bucket and because you're going to be puking out for your success. I get what he said and why he could possibly feel that way. But in the same sense, my nigga, it was a joke. Like, relax. Like, especially if you're a comedian, I feel like to a certain extent, if you are a comedian talking shit and talking shit about other people. Because he got on stage and said some shit about other folks. So it's like, if you can't take it, you can have your shit against you. So, go ahead, young sir.
So here's the thing.
Oh, shit.
Here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
This ain't got nothing to do with the argument, but, like, I was going to mention this, but I'm glad Dula said something about the street cred thing. And speaking of Corey Holcomb, Lavelle Crawford was on Corey Holcomb's show. And Lavelle kind of got that same type of thing. Is like, man, y'all ain't showing me love. And I'm going to get to this other point, but let me just knock this shit out. So he was talking about, like, shit, when they was coming up, they booked shows. Like, he had shows in St. Louis and shit, and they wasn't getting paid shit. And he was like, yeah, it was in this club. There was some, like, this was some OGs in here. He's like, it's a rough motherfucker. And shit, Mike in there, and they weren't feeling Mike. And they was talking while he was doing shit, and, like, they was talking to him like he was a bitch. Like, he ran out of that like, no, listen. He's like, he ran out of that motherfucker. Like, shit, Mike did, like, he didn't stay to get paid nothing. He ran out of there. Like, the way he mentioned that shit was to let people know what he really thought of Mike Epps. But, like, so, it ain't like it ain't like he got the comedy world shook. I ain't saying that make him a hoe. Like, you know, that's another discussion. So it's a difference between being stupid and being scared. No, I ain't saying, I think he a street dude, but I'm just saying that there's a difference between being scared and being stupid. Yeah. But I use that example not to, like, shit on a dude for not being the baddest motherfucker in the world, but to say that he's also insecure. Like, the whole thing came because he couldn't handle them not paying attention to him or not laughing at his joke. Like, you see that in his stand-up. Like, fucking shit. Maybe it's just one of those things, like, there's a spectrum. Like, if you are out here doing this shit, you want some adoration. If you get adoration, you feel like, damn, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's insecure. That motherfucker's also insecure. Shit. Like, what
about Nick Cannon, though?
What Nick Cannon got to do with this shit?
Yeah. Please.
He chimed, y'all didn't see that? He chimed in, talking about all that. I'm laughing at Mike. He said some shit about you too. You know, kings don't do this, I don't know, some king's quote. Basically, like, we supposed to be brothers type of shit.
That's what I was about to say. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't know what's going on with the new beef. I'm just speaking on the history.
I got the quote right here. It says,
the quote.
Nick Cannon says, lions don't lose sleep over he opinions. It says he opinions. Supposed to be the opinions of sheep. Kings don't bicker. We're too strong and beautiful to highlight hate. It's enough for that it's for the white man's money to sprinkle around to make us all giggle. And then Mike Epps responded, Nick Cannon, if you don't shut your
I'm about to get lyrics to that shit.
I can't even say it. He said, Nick Cannon, if you don't shut your drumline teenage forever looking ass up. That's all he said. But I'm saying that's who he is. That's what he do to everybody. He didn't back down from being who he is. He didn't switch up. That's what he's been doing. And Joe, you said you followed him on Twitter back in the day. Was he not doing the same thing?
But that's the thing, though. What was the basis of that? Where was it coming from? Sometimes that shit was coming from, like, insecurity. Like, it ain't just joning on the motherfucker. It's, man, I should be doing what he's doing. Or that motherfucker ain't, like, oh, man. Yeah. Like, it ain't just, like, some people do take that shit in stride because, for whatever reason, but it ain't, like, I get what you're saying, and I do agree with that, like, as an objective viewer. But at the same time, it ain't like it could be said that, oh, just because Mike do that, everybody know Mike do that. Like, why does Mike do that? And sometimes that shit was because, oh, man, I ain't feeling this shit because y'all feeling it. Man, I'm better than this motherfucker. And, Steph, you mentioned this shit, like, you put the rap twist on it, that nigga's the mad rapper. My shit's more jump laser than shit. That's who he is. That's
I'm not saying it's not true. but I'm playing devil's advocate, and I'm gonna say that
I know.
He does that to people who, well, it's not many people you put above him, but he does that to people who they put above him, like Kevin Hart, as far as popularity and money and all whatever. And he does that to motherfuckers who you don't put above him too. I mean, it's equal opportunity. He don't just do that to motherfuckers who we say or who they say outranking. He do that to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
But is that coming from a basis of insecurity? That's my question. I don't disagree with what you're saying either. I'm saying y'all attacking Kevin for being insecure for his response. But is the whole start of this based on Mike's insecurity?
It might be. But I honestly believe that Mike believes that Kevin Hart isn't funny. Because, Mike's a hood dude. No, I agree with you.
That's a reflection.
It is a reflection of insecurity. Yeah, it is. But I don't think, I thought Kevin Hart dropped a classic and had potential. And I've been disappointed ever since. And I'm speaking as a fan. I ain't no motherfucker me, you know what I'm saying? I've been disappointed ever since. What's going on? But he's gotten bigger and bigger, and I'm looking like, this shit ain't funny, man. Or you already said that. And Mike does that. He's the king of doing that, nigga. You need some new jokes. Yeah. You already said that. You know
I was getting to that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But I'm just saying, Mike is hood funny. At least he got that crown. He's anointed in the hood. He's all champ. As far as comedians go, him, Cat Williams, them dudes, they us. They for us. And Kevin, he done crossed over to another level, and that's cool. But when they throw your ass back, man,
gonna be looking down, kicking the rocks and shit.
And they gonna throw his ass back.
They gonna throw you back. But I don't think he really doing this shit for us anymore. And that's
I can't attest to that. I can't attest to that. Not saying it's not true. The last thing I looked at it, that he was involved with that was stand up was the shit that he released, the first movie he released. I looked at that shit. And I hadn't seen. I remember talking to y'all about this on Facebook. I was like, "Oh shit, this shit's funny. Y'all should go check it out." And I remember you commented, "Dude, I hadn't seen his shit then. I saw the one that you recommended, and I didn't know. At the time, it's a lot of recycled material. I'm like, this shit new to me. Oh shit, this is pretty funny. But by that time though, he was recycling shit.
I just want to know how this shit gonna end. One day. They need to do a movie together, man. Real shit. Or something, man. Squash the shit. I don't think Mike is jealous to the point where he ain't gonna do no movie with him, or he wanna do something with him, or he don't want to see him win, but he just...
He'd be a damn fool if he didn't.
Nah. I'm gonna combat that later, but go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, he ain't to the point where he hates him, or he can't go to sleep at night, he got my spot type of shit. When you as successful as Mike Epps is, I don't think he's there. Now, I do believe that he has jealousy. He's jealous that Kevin, out of all of them, is the ones that they chose, the ones they put their focus on. And to Kevin's credit, he made it there because he is good. He put in the work. Where they was messing up, he capitalized. He learned how to use social media to his advantage and all this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he earned his spot. It wasn't given to him. I don't want to make it seem like I'm just dissing Kevin. I think he's had a lot of insecurities. And he always has to talk about how much he got. And I don't think any of his shit lately has been funny. I do also think that Mike Epps is...
I get what you're saying, and I agree. We've had these conversations. But just like you said, he is a boy. Kevin's been in the bigger movies, whether or not his role in them has been funny. He's been in the bigger movies. He's been in, I wouldn't say the better movies, because shit, the Friday franchise is a thing in itself, but shit, my favorite one of my favorite movies, period, is motherfucking, goddamn, this goddamn wine, get my motherfucking ass. I almost burped. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That shit came out of nowhere. Yeah, All About the Benjamins is one of my favorite movies, period.
And that's his movie that he brought to Q.
Yeah, I ain't gonna sit here and say, you know what I'm saying, that the man ain't performed. And that ain't it at all. Mike has been in some huge movies. He's been the Resident Evil franchise, the Hangover franchise. He's done his thing. It ain't taking nothing away from him. This is just about the beef. It's just this ain't, you know what I'm saying, as much as we taking sides and we keep reminding y'all that we do have opinions on this, but to play devil's advocate, we go in certain ways. Now, he would do a movie with Kevin unless the stipulation would have to be that Kevin would have to make a concession, even though he was a bigger star. It would have to be like, shit, you gotta say I'm funnier than you. You know how he is. That's the way I think he would approach that shit. Like, man, I ain't working with that motherfucker. Yeah. Like, you know, man, when I was young, I used to fucking read all types of motherfucking magazines, watch all types of fucking movies and documentaries and shit. Like, a lot of the common threads with burnt out, like, ball players, like, especially, quote-unquote, street ball legends and shit. Man, I was better than all them motherfuckers. Yeah. Man, if I didn't do this, I would've, that's what happened. That's what it sounded like. No, for real, that is a common thread. Like, if I didn't do this, man, I would've, like, Joe the Destroyer Hammond, Earl Manigault. Man, if I didn't, man, I was better than all them motherfuckers. And that might be true. But they didn't put the motherfucking needle in your hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, that ain't their fault, you know what I'm saying? Like, in some cases, like early on, it was because of systemic fucking racism.
You know, I'm a fan of both, to be honest. But exactly. I lean towards Mike because I relate to him more.
It's the relatability. And that's with anything. Shit. If you're a fan of somebody, it's because you relate to them. It ain't because, well, some people, it might be because people are a fan of them. But it's because, like, you just following the crowd. But it's because of relatability. Like, shit, when it's something subjective, that's what it, and you truly mean, or you truly have something invested in it, like, whatever that may be, is because of relatability. I'm thinking, like, that's one of the huge factors. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, back to this shit. Let's get into these battle bars. Let's get into the bars. The 2014 beef. Just heard Mike Epps call me overrated on the radio this AM. I missed it because I was on a set working, in all caps and quotations. Do you remember what that is? Hey, Mike Epps, why don't you do us a favor and kill your goddamn self? I'm not saying it's a good one. I'm saying this reflects that insecurity y'all talking about. Kill your goddamn self. Didn't you learn your lessons from fucking with me last time? Don't talk to me until you start selling out arenas, Mike Epps. If your shows aren't selling and you need some help, maybe I'll send you out a tweet. Overrate that. Oh, one more thing, Mike Epps. If you keep talking crazy, I will book shows the same day as you in the same cities and shut your shit down. That's his trigger finger turn Twitter fingers. That's called flexing, Mike Epps. I'm going to take my overrated ass back to work now. My work here is done. Boom. I'm the type of guy that loves to see people succeed in all aspects of life. What I'm doing should motivate the next man. People's constant hate is what I'm putting emphasis on, all the shit that he has in all caps. By the way, this shit is hilarious. Is what motivates me to do so much more. That's why I refuse to let up. And this is from 2014. So shit has happened since then. And, like, obviously.
Being said, like, share, comment, and subscribe. You bitch, you funky whore, you. This is the last time we spoke podcast. I am Steph.
I'm Joe, and I love these hoes.
I'm Dula, and I love these hoes. We love these hoes.
But we don't kiss them in the mouth. Good night, you funky shit.